I'm Kyle McCaw, and I'm a local real estate investor, and I own PMI McCaw Properties in North Texas. So the role of property manager, with PMI McCaw Properties, we really view it as three things. First, we're protecting the property, so we're making sure that it's being well taken care of. Second is we're protecting the income stream. We're making sure that it actually makes money for our clients. And then third, we're protecting the owner from liability. So we take a three-pronged approach on that. So real estate investing is a little different than other investments. With a stock or a mutual fund or a bond, you can simply purchase it and forget about it and let it grow. With real estate, it's a little bit more active. It's not as passive as people say it is. It's not easy mailbox money, but it is easy if it's done with property management. So with a property manager, you have somebody that's going to do the tenant selection, make sure the property is being taken care of and maintained well, because we're trying to preserve the asset's value, preserve the income stream off of it, and then also the liability piece that so many people overlook. We're protecting owners from liability. So when it comes to purchase of property, there's a lot of key items to think of, but let's just keep it to four real basic ones. When it comes to a home, we're looking first at foundation. That can be an expensive issue. Also the plumbing system. So in Dallas-Fort Worth, we have a lot of houses that are built in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and even 80s, that the plumbing has met its useful life and may need to be replaced. That can be very expensive. The other is HVAC system. That can be a several $1,000s expense, and then roof. So we try and keep those four big items. Everything else we can pretty well take care of pretty simply. My advice to first-time home investors is don't just jump out and do it. Educate yourself, and then also find a mentor. Mentors are easy to come by. You don't have to pay $30,000 for a gentleman on TV. There's plenty of old timers that have been there, done that. It's not rocket science, but you do want a mentor that's been there and done that, so they can explain where they made mistakes and where they've done well. So right now with the designs that we're seeing that are popular in Dallas-Fort Worth right now, is we're seeing a lot more open concept floor plans. So we're opening up a lot of walls from these homes that were built in the 70s and 80s to where you can see from the kitchen to the living room. And then what we're doing on the walls is we're typically going with a gray. With Sherwin-Williams, we're using agreeable gray most often. In the past, we've used a lot of Killam beige, and we still do sometimes. But we found that light gray with a flat white ceiling and semi-gloss white trim really makes a property pop. We're also going in with all the plugs and switches and changing those to white because they've been an off-white color. And when a person walks into a home, whether it's a tenant or a potential home buyer, we want them to feel like they're in a new home. And if they're in one of our homes that's built in 1980s, and they're standing in the living room and they see everything's new, from switches to paint to satin nickel doorknobs, satin nickel light fixtures, fans, they're going to feel like they're in a home that was built in 2018, and that's what you really want. The critical areas to focus on when you're rehabbing a property is to not just skim over a property. We see so many people rehabbing a house and throwing it on the market by just throwing some paint on the walls. And you really need to focus on the critical areas of plumbing, because you don't want to sell a house and have bad plumbing and then that come back on you. So that's going to be one area that we want to focus on. An area to help get it sold, it's going to be the kitchens and the bathrooms. So if you update the kitchen, update the bathrooms, that's where buyers make their decisions, because there's only so much you can do for a living room, there's so much you can do for a bedroom. But when it comes to a kitchen, you can do a lot more. So on this house, we did not have the opportunity to put a nice backsplash, but we do like to do backsplashes. A lot of times it's going to be a glass mosaic because it does not cost much more. And then a lot of times we'll do granite countertops. This property had decent countertops when we bought it. Otherwise, we would have put in a good 3cm granite because it's not near as expensive as it used to be. And that will make our house stand out to every house in the neighborhood. Flooring decisions are very important on investment properties. Let's start with rental properties because that's our main business. Years ago, everybody put cheap carpet in, and they would just know that when the tenant moves out, they're gonna have to put in new carpet. We're not seeing that now. There's very good products out there with vinyl plank that will last, I'm not gonna say forever, but pretty close to forever. So if we have a bad tenant, we have to get them out. A lot of times all we have to do is broom the floor and it's perfectly fine. So we're doing a lot of vinyl plank because it's not much more expensive than carpet and it lasts forever. So that's very important to take that in consideration. Now when we're selling houses, we put a lot of focus on making it just a little nicer. So like our vinyl plank's a little nicer on our rent homes than our competitors that put cheap laminate. Our engineered wood floors or solid wood floors are going to be a little nicer than the neighboring house that's for sale with laminate flooring. And it does not have to cost much more if you know where to buy it. So we buy a lot of our materials at The Boss in Dallas, and we found that we can get our engineered wood floor installed for not much more than laminate flooring, so it makes us more competitive. So when it comes to educating someone that's wanting to get into real estate investing, there's a lot of things. Obviously there's clubs and organizations that'll teach you, and there's a lot of things on the internet. But really it boils down to know your competition. So we want to go look at the new homes that are built, and we want to look at the new apartments, because that's your competitor. So if you can make your home look like those at a lower price point, you're sold, you've got it done. So one thing that so many people overlook is looking at the competitors. Shop the new homes, D.R. Horton down the street. What colors are they putting in? What type of fixtures and faucets are they putting in? Because you can do the same thing and you can probably do it for a lot less.